Hey guys, this is Scott Horne and Sohail with the Owner Finance Loan Servicing, and we're here to simply put forth some basic answers for our lenders out there who currently have loans with OFN Loan Servicing. And guys, as a lender, one of my pet peeves is to help lenders understand that the money your borrower is paying is your money. It is not ours. And the best person to help you collect your money is you, right? Mm-hmm. And I see so many investors in the marketplace who want a third party to do everything for them. Mm-hmm. They want to think of it as mailbox money. It's hands off.
Lazy man's riches.
Good description. And you get that out there. But what we want is we want our lenders to be proactive and understand that if your borrower is beyond their grace period in making a payment, stop and take a moment and call them. No one is going to collect that payment more so than you out there. And relying upon somebody else to do it for you may cost a lot more money than you're willing to put forth. In addition, take a moment and when you close your transaction, read your documents. Make a cheat sheet of that someplace. Keep it online, keep it in a file, so you know exactly what your borrower owes you. What is the principal and interest amount? What is the escrow amount for taxes and insurance or other fees that might be being charged such as their loan servicing fee? What is that total payment? When is it due? Due on the 1st, which means late on the 2nd, right? But there may be a 10 or a 15-day grace period based upon your paperwork. Know what those are so you know what to expect and anticipate. Once you have put this in place, take a moment once a month, go on and look after your grace period has expired and see if your payment has been made. If not, take the time, make that simple phone call to the borrower and see what's going on. You don't need to call the loan servicer because if it's not registered, they have not collected it yet. Sure. That means either the borrower sent it late or not at all. Take the time to do those things. If your borrower has an issue ongoing, there's no one better than you to structure that assistance they might need. The loan servicer doesn't have the authority to create or structure a payment plan between the lender and their borrower. So you, by being proactive in making that initial call to your borrower, can help fetter out those issues, get to the root of the problem quickly, and solve that problem. Now, from there, what are the obligations, Sohail, that we're going to provide to the lenders? What are they looking to us to do?
So, as your servicer, what our obligations are, what we will do for you, our customer, is we'll collect the payments for you from the borrower and distribute them out to the appropriate parties. If you have an underlying lien or a mortgage with an existing lien on the property, we will distribute the funds to that entity first. We will collect the escrows with the payments as well, and we will distribute those funds as well to the entity or the underlying lien. Whatever's left over goes to you as the lender on the mortgage.
Yeah. So basically, I know in the industry, Sohail, so many of our lenders out there have existing mortgages. Sure. A lot of them have existing mortgages that actually collect principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And so as we collect that PITI payment from the borrower, we're going to pass on to the lender whatever that PITI is. Correct. We're not actually going to hold that in escrow. Correct. But if our lender has, let's say, a commercial loan through a bank that doesn't collect escrow, then we're going to hold that in a separate escrow account on their behalf. Sure. So that'll take care of those items. One thing that I see oftentimes too that I want the lenders to understand is if they have a mortgage account, they may possibly have a mortgage insurance payment, MIP or PMI as they call it. And that is a fee that cannot be passed on to the back end borrower. And they don't understand that they can't do that, but that is a fee that's going to be passed on as well so that we make sure that whatever the obligations are under that underlying mortgage is taken care of timely.
Essentially, we're making sure that the entire underlying lien payment is handled at every single month. We cannot create a shortage. Whether you as a lender have the ability to collect that mortgage insurance or not, you still have to pay the underlying lien.
Right. Regardless. So here at the OFN, what is it we won't do on behalf of the lender?
So some of the things that we will not do or we cannot do are negotiate the terms of the loan, accept partial payments.
So let me stop you there real quick. Yep. A lot of borrowers want to call in and make a partial payment.
Correct.
And even though we instruct them that they can't do that, but let's say for a moment a borrower says, hey, I want to pay half my payment on the 1st and half my payment on, let's say, the 15th.
Right.
How does OFN handle that?
So in a situation like that, the money, if it comes in, we will take it, put it in suspense, and put it on hold. We will not touch the money, we will not apply it to anything, and we will wait until the remainder of the payment comes in. Now, remember, if it's past the grace period, we will apply a late payment to it, or a late charge, and then we'll apply that payment to accordingly.
You know, I'm going to ask a question totally off cuff here because this comes up occasionally, and that is a rolling late charge. So let's take an example for our lenders. It says that the borrower makes their payment late in January, and a late charge is assessed, but it's not paid. But then in February, they make their payment on time. Now, most notes say that when you collect a payment from the borrower, payments are applied first to any arrearages and then to the balance of the note payment that is due and owing. Well, that creates another late charge.
Yes.
So are we going to create that rolling late charge where it just builds up every month because you're allocating to it? Or is that going to be a decision the lender has to make in how they want us to allocate that for them?
It's going to have to be the lender.
Okay.
We cannot make decisions on the loan. We are simply a servicer. So it will have to be the lender making that decision. And we will be proactive in reaching out to the lender and getting that.
Okay. But every month that happens, that borrower is going to be incurring an additional late charge.
Correct.
So at some point in time, that borrower is going to call the lender and go, hey, I'm paying my payments on time. Why am I still being assessed all these late charges? And then the lender and the borrower have to make the decision in how to handle that. OFN doesn't have the authority to do that, right? I got it. So that sounds pretty good. I got partial payments, and I got the rolling out there. Now, I know we can't negotiate deals on behalf of the borrowers. So, Hale, our lenders have a great ability just to be able to go online and probably get all the answers they need in a pretty easy mechanism, right?
Yep. As a lender, as our customer, you have the ability to go online and look at the status of your loans. You can run reports regardless of what time of day it is. Essentially, you have a dashboard where it tells you what payments have been received, what the status of the loan is. You can run the reports, and it doesn't matter if you have one loan with us or you have 100. You have the dashboard where you can see every single loan and every single status of the loan.
No, that works great.
Yep.
I like that. So what if they have entered into an agreement with their borrower on some type of a payment plan?
Sure.
What should they do?
So, number one, make sure everything is in writing, because we, as a servicer, will follow your instructions, but they have to be in the written form. Once we have those instructions, once you have a payment plan with your borrower, we will act accordingly. We will work based on what that payment plan entails, and we'll just continue the servicing of the loan from there.
So that works great. And guys, you know, when you do a payment plan with your borrower, oftentimes you can do that verbally. We always recommend you do it in writing in some format. You know, an email at bare minimum. I think a letter is even better. And if it's short term, you can keep things usually pretty simple. But oftentimes, maybe you're taking a payment or two or three and putting it on the back of the loan. We've seen oftentimes where lenders and borrowers will renegotiate their deal a little bit, maybe changing the terms from being due on the 1st to being due on the 15th, late on the 25th or the 30th. Maybe they will reduce the interest rate along the way, or who knows what it might be. And in those cases, you can't just simply have a handshake. You need to do a loan modification to modify the terms of the note and deed of trust accordingly, and that needs to be in writing. So take a moment and reach out to your attorney. Here at OFN, we recommend Horne and Associates PC for those purposes. You may have your own attorney as well for that, but the key is to keep that in writing and make sure that you put that in a format that becomes truly enforceable. Also, along the way, if your borrower is now getting late, not just past their grace period, but 10 to 15 past that, here at the OFN, we are instigating a program of putting this loan into the hands of our attorney here in Texas, which is Horne and Associates, and or other attorneys in other states that we work with, in order to send out maybe that precursory pre-foreclosure notice. And we do that to help the lenders collect their funds quicker. Also often, I have seen in so many instances with owner finance transactions, by the time our law firm gets a defaulted transaction to look at, the borrower is already 4 or 5 months behind in payments.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely too much. And so many of our lenders simply cannot afford that.
No.
And they all are hoping that somehow that their loan servicer is out there doing their best to collect it by making phone calls or sending letters that simply don't work.
And to be honest, there's only so much we can do as a loan servicer. You as a lender, this is your client, this is your customer, and you are your best collector. We will make you aware, you will know when a payment has not come in. And if you are not proactive in collecting that payment, and it gets further and further behind, it only impacts your cash flow. And that's the best way I can say it.
So our goal is to shoot this out to these borrowers to hopefully entice them to pay better. And there is a fee associated with that the attorneys are going to charge. And that fee, of course, is assessed to the borrower. One thing that I want the lenders to understand is even though that fee is assessed to the borrower, sometimes they don't pay it.
They don't pay?
Now, if they don't pay it, it stays on the account, and at some point it will come due and be assessed to them. If that borrower gets further enough behind where we need to start foreclosure proceedings, which of course will be instigated by the lender and their attorney, that fee is going to be paid by you one way or the other. So whether it was assessed 30 or 60 days ago to the borrower who didn't pay it, if you have to contact an attorney for foreclosure, that fee is going to be part of the foreclosure fees. So it's not like you're paying money double any place or not. It is simply helping be more proactive to get this done. So the goal is to help the lenders collect their money better and hopefully make their borrowers perform better as well out there. So lenders, remember, be smart. Remember, this is your money. Know what the terms of your loan are with your borrower. Know who your borrower is. Take a moment, go online, check the dashboard at OFN Loan Servicing to know what your status is. And if payments are not showing up, don't call and ask the loan servicer. Be proactive, pick up the phone, call your borrower, see what's going on. See if you need to negotiate some type of a workout plan with them in some format. If you do, take a moment, make sure you put that in writing to the loan servicer so they know exactly what to do. Along the way, we're going to do our best to help you collect your payments, put mechanisms in place so that we are proactive in the collection process, and hopefully better train your borrowers to pay in a timely fashion to help you have a good and successful loan with your borrowers.